Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. First things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Thursday. For those in the city, you already know it's raining. Try to keep an umbrella, poncho, or anything spare on you that's going to try to keep you as dry as possible. Weather is a little bit cool today, so try to avoid getting sick or being under the weather, especially if you got plans for the weekend. We almost to the weekend, so that's a good thing. And if you're blessed to make it to that weekend, you already know give them praises where it's due. Try to get through the day. Hammer, what's going on, baby? And despite that, it's probably the second coolest day out the whole summer. Again, for those in the city, try to keep yourself, under wraps and make sure you're not under the weather. Cool gamer, what's going on? Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the cypher on Tuesday. Definitely was a great conversation. Yeah, you got some laughters in the beginning because I still got my little cousins here, so you already know. Always some, always some madness in the household sometimes. Nonetheless, still a good talk that was needed. And if you missed it, you can catch the replay. Before my mouth goes left, I already know how it is. For some people, I'm gonna just repeat this and reiterate on this. When you bring children into the world, you should want to see the best for your children, see the best results. You should want to see your child grow normal. You should want to see your child just be able to go through life without having to worry about too much. But truth of the matter is, that's an impossible feat. The reason why it's an impossible feat is because, again, not everybody's thinking for the betterment of their children. I can't say everybody. Let me say this the right way. There's a small portion of people who are actually doing what they need to do, you know, and they are in the best interest of their child. And then there are others who are just blatantly selfish. Problem nonetheless. The ones that are selfish, they fail to realize that they are doing a disservice and a damage to their offspring. You're laying the seeds of confusion, and you're also laying the seeds of birth. Um, and honestly, when you're that young, you should not have no form of agenda pushed on you. I don't care what's going on, my guy. Um, Sticks, what's going on? Um, for some people, y'all probably heard the story about a father winning a custody battle with his I guess that's his baby mother or estranged wife. Um, Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. I gotta give an honest reaction on that. Yep, some of y'all know me already. There's going to be talks and topics of discussion that I'm gonna bring up. I'm not uncomfortable having these talks because I'm thinking of it in a logical sense and not an emotional sense. For some people, yes, it can get emotional because there's some people who really feel just as strong. Like again, let these children grow up into their own and let them figure out what they're gonna figure out in life. I'm good, Sticks. Trying to keep myself dry. It's been one of those rainy situations today, but nonetheless, it's the second coolest day in the city, so I can say I'm happy. I'm not sweating bullets. BMW, what's going on, my guy? Now again, there's some of y'all who have heard that story. You know, I would say this again for a lot of you fathers out there, and this is not a race thing. This is just a common sense and a common logic thing for all you fathers out there. If you have children with people that you feel are deemed not safe or stable enough to raise your kid or to put your kid in the best light, you better start fighting. And I mean, getting through these court systems, doing what's necessary. I don't care how much BS they try to give you. Go get yourself in order and go get your kids. If you got to get the best attorney, even if you can't afford it at that time frame, doesn't matter. You need to start looking into something and making sure that the children are safe. You already know, bro. That's for anybody. Another good day above ground. Shoot, keep it that way. You would hope everybody keep it that way, but we know that's not the case. Um, but again, in that situation right there, I applaud that father. The reason why is because the mother wanted that child to be raised as non-binary. Now, I hate having these talks and discussions, especially when it comes to the opposite side of the community, because again, there's some things I'm just not going to be able to say much on. But the only thing I can say, because I know people from that community, they will say majority of the stuff again that we are seeing now, they wasn't for that back in the day, and they still not for it now. Now, for those who might be confused about what non-binary is, apparently that's supposed to be you don't fit within the demographic of a male or a female. Uh, so you was going to try to raise your 4-year-old son in that notion, right? Probably have them go through life in confusion, feeding them things you ain't supposed to be feeding them. Again, laying the seeds of confusion. And you honestly thought the judge was going to allow you to keep that child? No. See, again, that judge knew to just make the right call. Because again, when you see that these people are not for what it is, how you doing? You get that sense to say, okay, well, that person's not stable enough to hold these people. So, you know, we better off doing the other option. Again, you fathers better start fighting for your children. I don't care if you with the child's mother, the estranged wife, whatever. Y'all got kids together. You feel this person is not where they need to be at. They not fit. They not fit at all. Get in control of that. Because if you don't, at some point, it's going to lead to a whole bunch of confusion and madness. Because you have some people who are bitter, who will spew the most hateful and hurtful lies to try to damage that other parent. That's not cool. Your personal issues, your personal whatever's should not affect your children. You trying to be part of some form of agenda and using your child as the sacrifice should not be on that table. I'm sorry. That father did right. That father had the notion to say, I want my son to grow up naturally. I want my son to learn what he needs to learn when it's time to learn it. And I'm going to do it my way, not the way you want people to get done. How you doing? All right. All right now. My nephew. Hold on one second. My brother. It's so good, Miss Linda. 22 is going on. Nah, but I'm saying that father. Oh, I know. But shit, we both be on the move. You see how we do it? Bro, what's going on, my guy? Nah, but you got to look at it from the standpoint for real. That father did what was right. Because if that father didn't do it, and if that judge would have still gave all full rights to that mother, guess what? That child is in danger as we speak on all levels. Because again, that's abuse in my opinion. That's abuse. Let your children grow up naturally and find out what they gonna be and what they want to be when they grow up. Like seriously. You want to put them within a certain category just so it can fit some form of agenda. Now, again, you were able, prime example, to grow naturally and learn things the way you were supposed to learn. And your parents were the ones that were teaching you that. If not the parents, the people within that community was teaching you the things they needed to teach you, regardless to what. This is what I was talking about communities not being together on all cylinders. Because again, why would you force something? Hey, what's going on, shoe baby? What you do? Who you talking to like that? You getting gangster like that? Hold up, that's a great way to ask. Thank you, because you wasn't supposed to be doing that in the first place. See. Look, stop being light skinned. My bad, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice, Auntie. I'm gonna be nice. Now you good. I know, but it's the rain. You can be alright. Look, I'm gonna give you that. It's the rain. It's the rain. Because I'm crabby too. Don't worry. Like, all right, man. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, but come on, y'all. Like, let's be real. That's what any upstanding parent should do, mother or father. Because there's some fathers that's pushing that agenda as well too on their kids, and they slowly but surely messing their kids up. Your sons and daughters should be able to grow up naturally and learn things the way we learn things. But again, it shouldn't be pushed, forced, stuffed down anybody's throat. I said this before. But again, parents got to learn to try to come into it. Those parents, they're going to have some form of common ground. The main common ground should be I want my child to be in the safest positions. If my child is going to learn certain lessons, I'm going to be the one to teach them, or we're both going to teach them. Give them critical tools because they're going to need it. Look how certain things is happening right now. In my opinion, it's brainwashing. It's predictive brainwashing at its best. Why would you want to subject your child to that? He's only 4 years old. Imagine if it was younger. Imagine if it could have been at a certain age where his child probably already, this is what they want to be. Like, you're not thinking about that. At certain points, children go through phases. Go through a confused phase because they trying to figure their way out. Almost everybody has been at a confused state in their life. Again, think about the stresses that's going to be on that child, or would have been on that child had that father not fought. You're not just brainwashing and confusing the kid, but you're physically destroying their structure. You're destroying who they was born to be. You're not just playing around with their genetics. You're playing around, period. Don't work. A child should be able to just be a child. They're supposed to be able to be out, explore, learn, have fun, build and grow with new people, but in the same token, still got to give them that peace of mind and that solace to say, nah, there's going to be things, if you need to come talk to me about them, come talk to me about it. If you're confused about certain things, if it's certain things that were brought up to you, especially if you've been amongst the flock, come sit down and talk with me. I'll be happy to try to answer whatever questions I can answer. Sometimes you need to sit down with your kids and all of them. Sit down with them and have them talks. And I would say for them young ones too, they need to do the same thing. Sit down with you and talk. But again, I feel that's the craziest thing you can do is try to subject your 4 year old to some form of agenda. Again, that judge did the right thing. You don't got the child's best interest at heart because what would make you think to even do that? That child probably not even in school yet. So you're going to try to almost at some points push your child to be this before they even start school. That ain't right. You should be happy with whatever that higher power was blessed to give you. If you was having a girl, you should be blessed to have a girl. If you was blessed to have a boy, you should be blessed. Nonetheless, you people take production and reproduction for granted. Nah, it's not a game anymore. When you are using these kids as pawns, it does reflect on you and it does come back. And at certain points, you're going to feel it because you're going to realize you've done something wrong. How can I sit here and say that I love my children, but I would force my children or force things onto my children that could mess up their psychological barriers? I can mess them up completely to a point where they can even be a danger to themselves. Harry, what's going on, my guy? You already know if y'all just tuned in for like button. This is what I was saying all and all again. You're messing up their psychological barriers, balances, and all by pushing certain things on them that you know is not cool. Miss Chicago, baby. Again, let these children grow up like how we grew up. We grew up naturally. They wasn't forcing things on us in school outside of the BS curriculum. Sorry to say it that way. It wasn't forcing other things of that nature onto the kids. And if we did find out certain things, we still had parents and even people within the community that would sit down and break down things that they need to break down. So that wasn't a problem for us. Again, I'm not trying to sound any type of way because again, I know people from that community. Shoot, I see half of these people every other day. I don't have no issues again with nobody on that side. Only issue I got is that a lot of y'all not riding together to oppress some of the BS that you know you're not even standing for. And I'm keeping it honest. I would say the same thing even on this side of the community. A lot of y'all not standing on the things you should be standing on. The voices and the numbers got to start adding up again. Because I know a few people that I had a conversation with this about, and they even said that's the wrong thing. That's the worst thing you can do. Serious, what's going on, baby? And they even said it for themselves. They not pushing those type of agendas or those type of, that type of nonsense on the children. Let these children grow up naturally and find out on their own what they want to be in life. If they decide they're going to be in that community, then that's on them. They're an adult. They're going to make whatever decision they make. You know, you pushing it on them well before time. You doing certain things in certain lights. Then you're pushing that, you're pushing the agenda. And the thing about it, it's just, you got to look at it from that standpoint. I'm sorry, but I know some mothers that have a lot of common sense. And they wouldn't even do things like that along that nature to put their children, their sons or their daughters in danger or in confusion. Look here, if you're going to do what you're going to do, you're going to be an adult and out of my house. Nothing before that. And of course, it wouldn't be the city unless you got one of these. Again, we had y'all trying to do this inclusion when it comes to everything, but guess what? There's some things that don't need to be included in the curriculum. Again, in certain situations, you try to avoid having talks because people want to have arguments down. But it's common logic. James, what's going on, my guy? It's just common logic. Nobody is judging or anything. But in the same token, there should be a form of judgment when you're pushing it on them too young. Or when you're trying to not you know, assess the situation well. Even if you are teaching and doing what you need to do as a parent, guess what? You still got to keep your eyes and ears open because at some point your children might come across some things. You know, they might be confused on it, but you're gonna have to sit down and have a talk with them. So when it's time to have that talk, just be logical and be reasonable with it. You know? Again, let these children grow up naturally. A child should have to worry about not too much outside of play, schoolwork, and just growing, becoming their own individual person. You know, learning experiences in life. Because whatever you can't learn in school, you're gonna learn outside of these streets. Whether you walk in the side of the streets or you're a civilian. And even if you're in between, you can still learn your experiences nonetheless. It's a natural balance. There's some things your parents are going to try to shield you from. But when you do find out about it, you need to sit down and talk with them. So again, there's no confusion, no miscommunication. You know, gotta have a, you gotta have a strong balance and trust. You know, children should be able to come to you with anything and you not go off the rails. Like I was saying before, you gotta have a calm, logical mind with that. Because again, you don't want to push the barrier of confusion either. But see, this is what happens when you trying to eliminate and, in other words, reverse roles that shouldn't be reversed. You're messing up a natural balance. Now, again, there's just some things I know, and if I sit down with these people right now, or even sometime during this weekend, they're gonna say the same thing like I'm saying. You know, be who you are, but in the same token, if that's who you're gonna be, you're gonna have to remain that way. Can't play back and forth. And on that topic right there, I'm sorry. That mother might be upset, but guess what? That was a great, great situation right there. Because now that father has all the opportunity to do what's necessary for his son. And again, fathers, I don't give a damn what race you are. If you're having problems like that, if you're having issues where you could be splitting up, you're trying to make sure everything is balanced. And if you feel there is an imminent danger, you do everything necessary by the courts and everything. Despite that the courts ain't built for us to really do anything, fuck that. Still do what you got to do. Don't let your children suffer. Don't let your sons and daughters suffer. Don't let them be in a situation where now they are fully unprotected. As men, as fathers, you are supposed to protect your flock, regardless to what. This is why I said to some degree you have to be careful in what you're doing and who you're doing things with. And if you're gonna build a family with somebody, then again, y'all both need to be on the same front. Y'all all gonna have your different views and opinions on how certain things could work or how certain things should play out. But in the same token, the main things you really should be keeping focus on, you're both on point. You know that this is not what you want. Again, if you don't want your children exposed to certain agendas and certain things before their time, then you need to step in front of it. Another thing is you have to teach them about, you know, tolerance to a degree. There's things you can tolerate and there's things you shouldn't tolerate. And I'm gonna say this because it needs to be said. If at any time you can put your children's lives in jeopardy or put their overall mental health in an ill state of mind, you're no good. You're no good to yourself. You're not stable. No, you need to do the right thing. Give that child a fighting chance, or give them children a fighting chance. The gift of life should not be taken for granted. And if you're giving life and you're lucky and fortunate enough to give life, then again, that shouldn't be taken advantage of either. That old you reap what you sow is truth. Some of you right now are reaping what you sow when it comes to your offspring because you didn't do what was necessary and you felt you was just going to be able to fly through life. Whatever my child does, whatever my child does. No, you still supposed to teach them about accountability, responsibility. You're supposed to teach them about everything, including injustices. As a parent, you are supposed to make sure you are teaching your children everything inside and out. Again, whatever a school system ain't going to be able to teach them, you need to teach them. And you need to teach them that at the end of the day, they are supposed to be who they are, they genuine selves. And if they are in confusion about certain things when it comes to life, then come sit down and come talk with your parents. Never hesitate to do so. Keep that communication line and that barrier strong and open because in the long run, guess what? You're going to need each other. You need each other because you want your children to be in the best light. No matter how they live their life for the rest of their life, you want your children to at least have a set mind balance to know what's what. You know, want them to be in good hands. Because regardless to what, you're not going to be here forever. You want to be able to make sure that the family tree is consistently growing and going. You know, on the same token, having that mindset to say this is what it is. You know, because again, everybody will be their own individual person when they become an adult, not before. You got some young ones right now, prime example, who thought they wanted to be in the streets, prime example, and they changed up their mindset after one or two things almost got too heavy. So again, as parents, you have to teach them everything. I mean everything. Even if you're not in the streets, you still should give them some form of education of what could possibly be if they are in the streets. That's another thing. I'm gonna bring that up too later. Oh, again, you're supposed to have that strong structure and balance, but again, you never push nothing on your kids that wasn't pushed on you. You can't say you want to break a chain and a cycle, but you're ending up doing something right now that's almost going against what you're saying. You know, if you want your children to be the best, you got to give them the best, and you have to teach them as best as you can. Whatever you can't really teach them, they'll find out and they'll learn on their own. That's the part of life too, a learning experience. But I'm sorry, there's just some things that should never be forced on a child. Let these children grow up like how we grew up naturally, and let us find out things the way we need to find out from our parents if we needed to. And if anybody else in the community was giving us, you know, odds and ends about the situation, then they was giving us the right things they were supposed to give us. It's like right now, shit. Don't nobody see that they the main ones being targeted? And I'm talking about all the young children under 18 getting targeted. Targeted with these agendas, targeted with the wrong type of advice, the wrong type of ideas and structures. Come on now. It's like our balance got broken to a degree after the 2010s. Shit. Everything, in my opinion, was good up to 2010. Everything after that is just like you just want to include this. You want to start, you know, laying the seeds of confusion. There's more than two genders. Who told you that? There's only a male and a female. I'm sorry, and I'm being logical. There's only male and female. So which is it? You know, some of y'all, in my opinion, are free radicals because only that type of thinking you would sit here and try to push that on a 4 year old. A 4 year old that's still learning as we speak, still trying to grow and develop. You know, how could you think to take advantage like that? How could you not think to say, you know what, I can't do this. I don't care about nothing. I just can't do this. and I wouldn't feel right doing this. Come on now. You gotta start thinking again. Gotta start being logical. And this is on both senses. Start being more logical and more careful in what you feed these kids, as far as education and everything that concerns the truth. Again, learn to let things take its natural course. You know, but see, in this era right now, you can't even say nothing because, to be honest with you, we in the sensitive ass era, that SAS era. Yes, that's exactly what it's called. This sensitive ass era. When you say something logical, everybody gets in their feelings. Everybody starts, you know, wanting to fight and argue over something that's just logical. Again, how is it cool to force things on these children? And this is around the world. How is it cool to force things on children that don't need to be forced? And nobody stands up on it. You got to pick a poison, like I said. You know, and if you're picking the right poison, you fighting the right things, then you're going to keep doing that. And it should be that way. Your children should not be at that age having something pushed on them. 4 years old, come on now. Most you should be pushing on your kids is how to still do their ABCs and make sure they know how to write sentences, learn how to do math and everything else along those lines. And you take that as a delicate step. I'm sorry. Anything outside of that, they don't need to be learning. Teach them how to be safe if they riding the bike, so on and so forth. But everything else that you feel is an agenda or that you know is an agenda, don't push that on them. Let them find out on their own. And then some of y'all that really need to start fighting in your school systems because again, even if you're going to try to put and keep these kids in school, there's things that they teaching now they shouldn't be teaching kids. They wasn't teaching it to us. So why is it all right to teach it to that's why I said, listen, you got to excuse me on this because this is not an emotional stance. To me, it's a logical stance. I was trying to keep certain things under wraps, but I've come to this conclusion. This is just my view and opinion on it. Everybody else might have a different view. But for a person that's only 24 years old to come and ask me, do I think this generation is cooked? That symbols something right there. Anybody that was born within the 2000s to the 2010s, y'all seeing things for what it is now. Things have definitely changed up way more than what it is. And it's a sad notion to say it that way. Like the things we really still wasn't incorporating, now we incorporating. Why? Because we too scared to say what's best and say what's on our minds. Nah, our children should be safe on all course, and that means they shouldn't be taught certain situations that again was going to cause confusion well before they get into their teens or before they get into their adulthood. Again, let everything be natural. That's how true it is. Started raining back again on me. Glad I got my umbrella, y'all. Damn. Damn, I'm glad I got my umbrella. But again, like, where do we get this sense to say, oh, we just going to allow things to happen? No. Why don't we stand up on that? And again, fathers, start standing up for your children at all costs. If you definitely feel your children could be in the utmost danger, you better stand up. The worst thing you can do as a father is not stand up for your children. Because now you're just essentially saying you gave up. And I know most common men with most logic, they ain't giving up. Even if they gotta go through hell to get what's done, they're gonna do it. Armando, what's going on, my guy? Well, again, it's time for us to start fighting back. Fellas, stop feeling like you are worthless and useless. You have a brain. You forgot. We build and we created things. We've done a lot of things over the course of history. And the most we have done, we've done for the right reasons. When we fought for the right reasons. We didn't just go fighting for nothing. All crazy and blazing like no suckers for some BS. Father, start doing what's necessary. The reason why I say that is because again, you are going to be that sole teacher for that child, regardless to what the situation. You could be with your significant other, and God forbid if something happens to her, you still got to be that rock. You still got to be that protector. You still got to be the logical person out of everything. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working harder than this damn rain on my umbrella, baby. What's going on? You got to remember that part. If you're gonna bring children in the world, then your children should be protected. And I'm saying this again to you men and you women out there. Stop taking the gift of life for granted. When you throw your kids out to these damn establishments, when you go with that BS basis that you know we didn't go up off of, you are solely messing them up. Baby girl, what's going on, baby? Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you. But you gotta remember that part. We grew up without things being forced down our throat outside of the knowledge and education they was trying to give us. Anything else that we learned, if we are learning from personal experiences, we knew to sit down and talk with somebody and find out what we need to find out before anything. Again, a 40-year-old child is not going to be in no way, shape, or form able to make any decisions on their own about their own. No. And I applaud that man for getting custody. I applaud the justice system for doing what was right. Because when it do come to situations like that, there's a lot of men right now that are still fighting and the justice system is giving them shit. But my thing is, if they even prove and presenting evidence that this person is unstable, why wouldn't a lot of y'all look into that? So I said there's certain reasons why there's things happening. And there's always going to be forms of corruption. Because I feel like this, if I'm bringing all my damn receipts showing you that this person that I had a child with or this person that I thought was going to be building with me is an imminent danger to my child, no, I want my child and I'm going to fight for my child. And that's the mindset that a lot of y'all should have. Despite whatever you think, fight for your damn children. Make sure that your significant or your baby mother or whoever you want to title her as is not corrupting your child. There's a reason why I said to a degree the single parent homes are kind of not the best way to go. Because again, if you only got one person that's giving knowledge and education, where's the balance at? How you doing? Like where's the balance at? No child should be put in a situation where they would have been in confusion for the rest of their lives. 4 years old definitely ain't one of them. And there's other stories like that that is going to start transpiring, I feel, because again, there are some people who are just going to go with the balance of if my child is in danger and I feel it, I'm going to go with my gut instinct and I'm going to do what's necessary. I am supposed to protect my children. I am supposed to protect my offspring. And again, there are situations where there are men, just like there's women, pushing agendas on their children. I feel like this. Yeah, nobody can't tell you how to raise your children, but you should have a notion to say, I'm not going to do anything that's going to fuck my children's minds at me. Excuse my language for it, y'all, but it's the truth. I should be able to say, well, you know what? I'm going to let my child figure out what they're going to figure out when they get to a certain age. And even if I still got to have to talk with them, I'll sit down and have the right talk with them. I'm not going to put them in confusion. I'm not going to have their head off of a swivel. No, they're going to be good and ready to go. Not gonna lie to you. Again, there's things that we know for a fact is wrong, but we ain't really standing up. And some of this stuff is being pushed within the school system. Whatever's not being pushed within the school system is being pushed on a lot of different scenarios. Which is again the worst thing of them all. Because they want to try to silence people for just being truthful and logical. I don't think it's fair. So essentially it's like What are you reproducing for? Because again, some of you are allowing an establishment to tell you how to raise your children. It's cool for your children to be out all hours of the night without a care in the world. Don't raise your children. And if your children feel like they're gonna call or do whatever, even try to quit, quote unquote, call them child welfare on you, hey, just let them do it. No. Since when as parents do you allow somebody to tell you how to raise your children or what to put around your children? There are a lot of parents who have been coming up to them schools and they have been letting their voices be heard, mothers and fathers alike. You're going to see a lot more of that too. Because again, the things they are trying to put in these systems right now, if you don't get ahead of that right now, your children definitely going to be on the road to confusion. Or they're going to end up asking you some things that they shouldn't even have to ask you at that age. Again, no children under a certain age, I don't care, they should not learn things they don't need to learn. Got to stop letting people tell you, or you got to stop letting these establishments tell you this is the best way to raise your children. No, the best way to raise your children is let them grow up naturally and find out things they need to find out on their own. You can give them the best ideas and the best advice, but everything else, it's a life experience. They're going to have to be a part of it. But again, shouldn't be forced down their throats. Reason why I feel this generation is cooked right now, sorry to say it this way, is because of that. There are some parents, a good handful, who are still keeping the old traditions together, which is good. I don't know about everybody else. Everybody else it seems to be up and down or confusion. So when you're not getting a certain balance and a certain leadership that you're supposed to get, even when you're being raised, it's a problem. This is why this generation is cooked. It's cooked because some of the parents are not doing what they used to do. Again, establishing peace and order, teaching the kids respect, boundaries, and everything else along those lines. That's going out the window. It's basically let your child run amok. You live a second life or you live your childhood again and let your child just be out on their own. Big dog, what's going on, my guy? This is why I feel this generation is cooked. We do lack knowledge in certain areas, and what knowledge we do have, you know, everybody still wants to go against the grain. Another reason why I feel this generation is cooked now, I'm about to get to another topic. Felt like I needed what I had to say about this first topic out here. Fathers start doing more. I don't care if you're not with the person that you had a child with or not. Start doing more, start fighting more. Start incorporating yourself. And guess what? Make sure that your quote unquote baby mother is not trying to tarnish you, especially if you know you want to write a cause. Your child shouldn't grow up hating you, or your child shouldn't think they hate you. And if it is starting to get that way, then you know you got a problem and you better start fighting. But another reason why I feel this generation is cooked now, it goes back to something I was talking about a while back. Establishing bedtimes for your children. Like even the young ones, ages 2 to 5. You need to start establishing a bedtime for them and making sure you keep them in order with that. There's no way a child should be up past 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't care if it is summertime. A child that age should be asleep by then. A child should not have to wake up to a device and go to sleep to a device. No. Start establishing a balance and order of things in your households. At a certain time, my children should be going good night. And if they do get up at a certain time because of whatever, then me as a parent, I'm gonna do what I gotta do and put my child back to sleep. You still got some sleep to get. Especially if I know I gotta take you to school, I gotta do whatever. No, the best bet is to try to put them in the bed. Another thing I said, the reason why this I don't know, I feel this generation is cooked to a degree is because again, you know, there's no order established when it comes down to teaching your kids reading, writing, math, anything. It's technology, 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 technology. Technology is raising your kids right now. Like I said, if a child could be on a device from sun up to sundown, that's a problem. Even if that child is supposed to be watching something that's quote unquote educational, the fact that there was no balance, you didn't sit down and really read, write with them, and do whatever, you're setting them up for failure. You got to get in front of that. You have to establish not just routines and balances, but you also got to instill some order too. Like prime example, start getting back to that notion, like I said before, of having them sit downs at the table. No doubt, Sticks. Appreciate you, bro, for tuning in. You're always more than welcome. Um, again, get back to that notion of sitting down at the dinner table with your family and having discussions. That shit seems to not be a thing no more. Y'all form of dinner with the family is you all are in your devices, eating, and that's it. No real talks. And if there is talk, you're talking about shit that's either going on here or things that are not of importance. I think that's a problem right now. See, even up to the 2010s, I could remember kids being out at a certain time of the day. Even when the parks was open, you would see a whole bunch of crowded kids in there. Everybody didn't matter if they was from the neighborhood or not. Everybody was in there playing, doing their thing. But in the same token, we ain't seeing that no more. Everything is either we in each other's houses, and if we are outside, we are focusing on everything that has to deal with social media and not worried about the things in real life. And the things that we are worried about is, again, not really worth it. That's the sad part about it. When do we start instilling back the order? When do we stop listening to outside information that really ain't good information? When do we say enough is enough? I think at some point you'll have to realize that enough will be enough when you learn to again start voicing your opinions and voicing your views on things. Sorry, with parents, there's some of y'all who you're gonna immediately set your kids up for failure because you're not keeping everything under wraps. You're not. You're not keeping everything the way you should keep it. Like I said, they need a balance. And I think it's about time for this generation to stop being so cooked. But it's hard to say that because it's already there. That's what I'm saying. It's the problem. You figure, okay, well, since we can't voice our opinion on that, we just want to allow it to happen. Nah, we can't do that. Shay, what's going on, baby? Again, look how we came up, and even the generations before us. Like I said, this generation is cooked, and it's cooked because a majority of the traditions and the values that kept everything whole, um, We ain't teaching it. We ain't teaching it. We ain't making it important. Like I said, even down to teaching kids the simplest things like cursive writing and reading. Come on now. We not even doing that. But we'll sit there and try to force an agenda. No, I can't say we, because there's a lot of us that ain't for that BS. But we will sit there and allow an establishment or any other quote unquote higher authority to tell us what to do. Apologies for the wind in the background. This weather has been doing a complete 360 on your board. And I still had to take that morning slash afternoon walk. That's what I'm saying. You know, we got to start getting back to the notion of caring. You know, do we care what our kids are learning? Should we really be focused on what our kids are learning? And if our kids are in school, are they learning the right things? Are they learning things that is going to be important and valuable, not things that are not? Some of the stuff you trying to teach in school is almost taboo. I'm sorry to say it that way. Again, parents keep an open eye and ear for everything that's going on, even in your school systems, because again, there's different things happening that you're not aware of. And then now your children bring home whatever confusion or whatever they thought was knowledge at the forefront. Again, when your children get a certain age and they get into a certain stage, they already know what they're going with and how they're going to move. Then hey, the most you can do as a parent is support. Do is still love them. If they stand on your decisions, especially if the decisions are good, then hey, you do what's necessary. Give them that support that you're supposed to. But again, let them find things out naturally. You don't force things on them. You don't force agendas that don't make no sense on them children. You need to start teaching them, like I said, cursive reading and writing. You need to start teaching them things that are going to be necessary for the overall educational value. Teach them the actual factuals. Teach them the things that they ain't teaching them in school. But also teach them again about tolerance, boundaries, so on and so forth. Everything plays hand in hand, whether you believe it or not. It's a respect level. You should respect yourself and respect your kids enough to not push any damn agenda like that on them. And I'm going back to that. I'm going right back to that because I feel that is something that needed. There's a lot of you men and women out there who are doing what's right, and I applaud y'all for doing what's right. Keeping the necessary structure and balance in your household with your children that you're supposed to. And everything is panning out the way it's supposed to. And then some of y'all who you just ain't getting it right. And the things you're doing are not right. Again, I applaud that father for doing the necessary thing. Fighting for his child. Because again, your son shouldn't be pushed in a situation where there's confusion. You know? I'm sorry. Pushing those wrong things, it messes up boundaries. Because again, now if that woman would have won everything, that child would have grew up at some point in confusion. And even when that child would have got to a certain age, oh, trust me, it would have looked bad. And it would have looked bad because look at it. You, as my parents, you lied to me. And you put me in danger. How could you say you love and care for me when this is what you did to me? So again, you got to think about that shit. Never put your kids in that form of danger and that form of confusion. Come on, be more reasonable. It's things you can't do. That would be like you sitting here telling your young ones that they can fly out of a window and not get hurt. That would be like you continuously lying saying that, and then they actually take that into consideration and try to do it. Oh, don't keep force feeding the wrong form of information to your children, and you don't allow nobody else to do so neither. And the minute that you think that it is, you need to stand up and make your voice heard and let it be known what it is. Teach my kid this, and I'm not even teaching them this. Don't say this around my kid, and I'm not even saying this around my kid. Again, it was supposed to be forms of boundaries. How you doing? It was supposed to be, established order. That established order is seen to be broken. Sorry, it's time to really start fighting. And I mean fighting for the right reasons. For the parents who are doing what's needed, keep doing what's needed. You know, keep that restored order that we have. For the rest of you, some of y'all gonna have to get it together. And you still got time to do it before you put your children in that confused boat. Like I said, I've heard some stories and seen some stories. And again, didn't look good. At the end of the day, the parents take the hit. Because again, you are supposed to make sure you're keeping your child safe on all accords, keeping them preserved, even down to their mental health and their peace. Just think about it. Now, when your children get a certain age, they not sure what they really want to be labeled as or what they want to do. And if they do find out something, then guess what? It's still going to be a lingerment of confusion in their life. Again, when they go through certain phases as parents, you need to sit down and have the best talk you can with them and try to just be reasonable and logical. You know, if your kids are confused about their orientation to a degree, this is when you need to really sit down and have that talk. I'm sorry to say it. If they having confusion about their preference or whatever, you need to sit down and have a talk. Anything that will lead to confusion, that will lead to some form of depression, some form of misery, some form of probably possibly taking yourself out, etc., etc., you need to get in front of that as parents. There's no more time to play games, especially in this structure right now, because it's obvious no matter how hard you speak, how hard you fight, they are still going to try to push this agenda one way or another on these kids and confuse the hell out of them. But again, there should be no children confused in life, just like it should be no teens confused in life. Same thing with the adults. Some adults are coming into adulthood confused because of the life that they had. Again, once you start breaking down the mental barriers, you pretty much are scarring everything. You're going against what you're trying to build. If you was trying to build some form of success, you're trying to instill that in your children, you are messing them up in the same token. And I'm not doing nothing but being logical on this sense. Much as some people might think I'm trying to be whatever. No, I'm being logical. I'm not coming from any sense of anything when I have these talks outside of logic. I don't care how my voice may sound. No, I'm being logical. And when I'm passionate about something that I'm logical about, there is no going back on it. And I believe in what I believe in because it's truth. And I'm got to be your truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. There's just some things you are not going to be able to force feed your kids. The minute you start force feeding them that, you can forget about it. Because now when you try to unravel it or you try to go and try to reestablish it, it's already going to be too late. That's just like you allowing your children to stay up all hours of the night. Now, when you try to put a bedtime on them, they ain't gonna want to go to bed, or they gonna fight you going to bed. Why? Because you have been accustomed to just letting things go. Parents start reinstilling that order in the household. There needs to be a bedtime, and there also needs to be a cutoff time when it comes to any form of electronics, social media, like anything. You have to be real with yourself. This is why this generation is cooked. Because again, almost everything is involving some form of social media. Again, how can you say that the families are going to be where they need to be at when half of them are not having those talks of discussion? Half of them are not having those sit downs at the dinner table and talking. Be real about it. You think you got to think about that for real. When this all said and done, it's up to you. It's definitely up to you to establish order. London, what's going on, baby? Oh, snap. They running down on people. Wait. My bad, y'all. Hold on. They running down on people. Oh, no, they ain't running down on nobody. Oh, they might be. I don't know. I don't know. No doubt appreciate you, baby. You're always more than welcome to pop in on the conversation. Link is dropped in case anybody want to chime in. Because I ain't going to hold you. It's just, I had to bring that up today because hearing that story made me have to react the way I reacted. It's logical. Liz, what's going on, baby? You already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. You gotta think about it. There's a lot of things that wasn't forced on us that they are forcing on this generation now. The reason why, again, I say it's cooked is because some of the parents are not standing up the way they're supposed to. Now, there are those who are standing up and doing what's necessary, but it's not a big number. And it's not a big number because mostly everybody else has that notion that, oh, well, if it's not affecting me and mine, then F it. But in the same token, there's going to be things that will affect you and yours. You just not seeing it right now. You always supposed to be, weary on things. You're always supposed to expect the unexpected, but be prepared for it. I don't think it's fair that you would sit there as a parent and not do what's necessary for your offspring. You can't sit here and say that you truly love yours if you're being selfish. The worst form of selfishness, again, as parents, is not fighting and allocating for your kids when you're supposed to. My children are going to learn their own experiences. I grant that. But there's some experiences that they should not be forced at a certain time frame. I'm sorry. It's not. Again, it's time to start fighting and fighting for the right notions. That father did what was necessary. And 9 out of 10, that father probably is going to be a better, going to be at a better impasse now because guess what? I got my child. I don't have to worry about this child's mother doing the unnecessary to my children, confusing them. But this is why I say that same notion to a degree as a lot of y'all, before y'all even think about building a family or bringing children into the world, you need to start making sure these people that you are putting in, putting the time in with, is on the same mental balance, on the same mental aspect of things. Fellas, make sure you got you a woman that, again, is going to be down for you and also, be reasonable with you when it comes to things of that nature. We got to keep that balance. No, let my child find out naturally if this is what they're going to do or not. Don't force it on them and try to make it that way. And then now, if they decide this is really not what they wanted, now, it's hell trying to get back to some form of normalcy for them. Why scar your children like that? You never supposed to mentally scar your children in any way, shape, or form. I don't care how much you try to discipline or how much you try to whatever. There's just some things you can't do that will break their mental barrier. That will start bringing the seeds of confusion. The worst thing in the world is when a child or even a young adult is questioning why their parents even had them. Came across stories like that too, where people are questioning their parents. If you claim you love me, or if you claimed you was trying to do right for me, how could you allow these things to happen? How could you allow yourself to push these things on? That's what people got to take into consideration again. You love your sons and daughters to let them grow up naturally and let them find out things the way they're supposed to find out. And the things that you're going to teach them, make sure that you're teaching them right. I hear you, London. It's the truth. It has to be that way. It really has to. You have to think about that. Instilling those damn values will work with us and not against us. Right now, there are things working against us because there are people that are allowing it to work against us. And I really didn't want to, you know, go there today, but I had to go there today. It's just enough. Enough is enough, man. I'm sorry for a lot of y'all parents that are doing the right thing. Try to keep that established and shoot. When you see certain things you know you can help with or intervene with, especially when it comes to children, even if it's not yours, do so. There's a lot of these kids that are going to be left in the confused stage because guess what? If they ain't being raised by a mother or father or both, they might be raised by uncles, aunts, grandparents, shoot, even older siblings or cousins. And depending on the situation, that child is still at risk at being confused in life. No agenda, I don't give a damn how much you want to promote it, should be promoted on your children. It's time for y'all to really stop that confusing stage for them. Start going back to the old traditions and balances. And again, start fighting where you need to fight. A lot of these agendas again are being pushed in your local schools. They're getting pushed throughout social media. They're getting pushed in the society that you walk in day in and day out. There's banners, posters, and stuff like that you see on the day in and day out. You know, kids see that, regardless to what. And when they do start asking questions, you have to give them the necessary answers and give them stone cold truths. Don't sugarcoat nothing and don't hide nothing. Got to be real, parents. And again, I feel good in that situation because there are men who had to fight for they were, you know, they were in imminent danger. Again, fellas, be careful of what you're doing and who you're doing. And if you're going to solely build something with somebody, to make sure that's somebody that's really going to be with you throughout thick and thin. And it's the same thing with you women. Stop giving up your eggs to everybody's seeds. If you're going to build with somebody, build a family with that person, it should be with that person's soul. And if you have made a mistake already, learn from that mistake and learn that if you are going to build a family with somebody, you need to build a family with somebody that's going to be on the up and up and also going to make sure that you're on the right path. It takes two to tango, it takes two to raise kids, it takes two to try to establish a household, but it takes a whole community to try to give the best education and outlook for those children. The things that you might not be aware of or might not have knowledge on, guess what? Somebody in the community does. And when it is time to have that talk, sit down and have it. And again, don't force no agendas on your children. Let your children grow naturally and grow happy. So I can really say, Riaz, what's going on, my guy? So I can really tell you. Um, Again, conversations like this will continue to happen because again, You're gonna hear stories like that, or you're gonna come across stories like that, even outside of social media. Because there are people who are going through the utmost trying to fight and do what's necessary for their offspring. Again, nobody should ever give up fighting. What's going on? I see. Like I said, reestablish order and balance. Stop allowing other establishments and other ideas and other ways of thinking, especially radical ideas, affect what's going on in your household and your community. Then everybody start standing up for what's right. You owe that much to these kids now. And the reason why some of this generation is cooked, because look what happened previous to. We just allowed things to happen. We didn't stand up. And when we did stand up, we got silenced. Or, people just stopped caring. In the long run, you should always care about your offspring. They are your blessings. You gave them life. And you should make sure that their lives are not in imminent danger. You should make sure that their lives are as peaceful and comfortable as it could be until they get into their stages. When they decide to do whatever it is they're going to do, it's going to be because they're adults. They made their own decision and they stand firm in their decisions. We got to start doing more better than what we're doing now. And allowing the nonsense to keep being pushed on these children, no matter what age, it's a problem. I can tell you so many different stories about that, but I'm not going to. I've already covered some of that. There's some people whose parents really pushed a lie and pushed that BS agenda on them and pushed it in their minds to where they started believing certain things. Then when they got to a certain age, they realized that everything that they thought was truth is not true. So again, puts them in a precarious position. Some to a point where they might do the unthinkable and unalive themselves because they don't want to live in that confusion. See, again, you have to remember when you are bringing children in the world, their minds are delicate until they get a certain age. And if you keep forcing the wrong type of ideas and opinions and the wrong form of abuses on them, then guess what? It kind of messes up their whole trajectory in life, whether you want to believe that or not. I don't need to pull out numbers, charts, or anything. I just think reasonable and logical. If I expect my child to be something in life and to become another success in the family tree, I need to make sure I'm giving them everything ample for life. And that means the real knowledge and education that's needed, not that felonious stuff they're trying to feed you now. If you really do love your kids like you say you do what's needed and necessary. It's not so much as for you, it's for the betterment of them. Don't condemn them to nonsense that you don't need to condemn them to. Don't do anything that wasn't done to you. And with that being said, I'm gonna just leave that conversation where it is. I'll revisit it again. Um, Before I do get up out of here, I do want to take the time out to say I appreciate everybody that's been a part of this build, still becoming a part of this build. I appreciate all my mods, especially my super mod up in here and super extraordinaire friend. Appreciate you, baby. Appreciate everybody that been in the shadows watching, sharing your boy out. I know who been sharing out and who hasn't. And I still appreciate all of y'all, whether y'all in here every day or not. For those who are not here, I still wish you nothing but love, peace, prosperity, and love. Again, there's things I'm never going to take personally. I don't care what side it flips on. Never going to take anything personal. What I do take personal is what I do here. Bring this, bring these conversations that's needed. And again, without y'all, conversations would be null and void to a degree. Those following me on Clapper, I'm gonna try to give y'all some music tonight. Y'all pray for me because I still got the damn minions upstairs. Nonetheless, if I can't do it today, I'm off tomorrow, so I'm definitely doing it. But I'll definitely give y'all the info. You'll 9 out of 10 see it on the community wall. But again, this is a conversation that's needed. And I'm gonna revisit this and the link will be dropped in case anybody wanna chime in. It's always a blessing to bring something to the people. And this is what we're gonna keep doing, regardless to what. For those who have reached a milestone, for those who are building on this platform, congratulations. For those who are monetized or about to be remonetized, again, congratulations. Y'all keep pushing forward, keep doing what's necessary. For those who are just doing what's necessary, building and not worried about the funds or anything, you still do what you do. And for all the birthday people, I ain't forget about y'all. I ain't forget about y'all. I really didn't forget about y'all. Yeah, I ain't forget about y'all. Another year and another blessing around the sun. You know, hopefully y'all enjoy your days, your weekends. If you wasn't able to celebrate during the week and you got plans for the weekend, hey, do one of these for me. Definitely do one of these for me. And for those skating into a good weekend, I told y'all to take my damn device. Y'all didn't listen. Just DMW, you gotta get this work too. Because you was a part of this. Told you to take my damn device, ain't nobody wanna listen. Oh, don't worry, there's more coming. Y'all ain't been catching them shorts. There's more coming. We gonna make the world laugh one day at a time. One day at a time. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. One more again. One more again. Have a great day, London, or a great evening, I should say. I'll definitely see you later on, 9 out of 10. James, don't laugh. You was part of that madness too. And again, a lot of these drops for you higher ups of YouTube. Again, these for entertainment purposes. I know you're gonna send an email, but again, you know this is for entertainment purposes. Y'all not trying to pay me for them, so I don't want to hear nothing. Watch my people rock out. Watch it. You must first begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop. Breathe in, breathe out. Like I said, I probably might do my first ever AI Matrix Awards. I am the AI king right now. And watch this.
Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Oh man.
You got some bamboo?
Ah shit, I ain't even bring my papers out, bro. It's a bamboo. No, we don't drop no damn bamboo. Better off asking for some roll papers. Shit, even Marley. And I don't even like Marley. But you know, you think about what's said today. Parents, start really reestablishing the order in the household. Let your children learn things naturally they need to learn. If there are things you need to teach them, give them the honest truths. Can't say that more. I'm gonna revisit this, man. Let me get up out of here. It's time for me to figure out lunch. And again, if I'm not back tonight on Clapper, I'll definitely see y'all tomorrow morning for the site, and I'll definitely see y'all tomorrow. Trying to really do the Throwback Thursday, so pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. Let me get up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance today, y'all already know that love is love and then be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real bills. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings. And happy Friday to all you future babies that rock with your boy. I ain't forget about you. I still need my lottery numbers today for tomorrow. Y'all going to have to make that work. Oh, wait, I ain't forget about you. Wait, serious. Wait, I ain't forget about you. Wait a minute. I ain't forget about you. Wait a minute.
Motherfucker.
Y'all need it. Oh. And before I do get up out of here, I do owe y'all two more. For those that I always see in the club.
I normally don't ask girls stuff like this until they tell me they're pregnant. What's your name?
Clapper.
I told y'all to take my damn advice. As I told y'all, this is what happened. Let me get up out of here, y'all. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.